conclusion to believe that the woman or young lady that ordered her sandwich from, or I guess it was a hamburger, from Shake Shack, did not want her food. And sad, because a lot of women become anorexic, and it's a sad thing to see because it can kill you. And it sounded like to me she just didn't want the food because she was like avoiding it, like she was afraid to get the food. Because I told her several times where I was, and she never showed up. And because I waited so long, it was a big package of food. She was probably gorging, or what she was bulimic. So she's probably eating it and throwing it up, and eating it and throwing it up, and that can kill you too. I used to study dance, so I was a dancer at one time before I became an actor, and I used to go club dancing. I would go ballet. I used to study ballet and everything, and they do that. They'll order a bunch of food, they'll eat it, and then they'll throw it up, and that's called bulimia. I think that lady was bulimic because they're real reluctant on accepting food. They have a weird connection to food. Oh dear. Tim Burton and George Lucas.
The customer requested you leave the order at their door. They added the following instructions. Leave at my door.
Of course I'm going to leave at your door. Can I come in and eat the food with you? Yeah, come on in. Have a burger. That's okay. I'd rather not. How about your $20 tip in cash? All right. Let's go to this one. Man. I'm just gonna pull in here. Look at the message. That way it allows them a chance to get out. They'll be fine. Why did you change your name to Arizona rather and you change your name to Huffines? Would you buy unpainted furniture from Huffines? Or would you buy furniture from unpainted Huffines? Supposed to be unpainted Arizona. You gotta see Racing Arizona. Destiny. And it's Rice Express, and we'll be dropping it off at your doorstep very soon. You can see the package right there. I feel sorry for that lady at TCU because she's bulimic. She throws up her orders out of her mouth. She's also fat. On the whole Harvey Weinstein thing, women control Hollywood. It's women Hollywood is controlled by women. And they didn't want Harvey Weinstein to have the power. The Weinstein company, or Miramax, was a masculine company. That was a man's company, you know. And women didn't want him to have that kind of power, so they threw him in prison. I understand about Arthur Miller and what he went through when all the blacklisting was going on. I understand the whole movement that Arthur Miller went through, writing the plays, The Crucible, and The Witch Hunt. I understand it was a witch hunt, and it was a witch hunt. And that's exactly why Harvey Weinstein is in prison and should be freed. He should be let out, forgiven. Those women made a lot of money off him and almost took it all. Miramax was a wonderful company. One of the best films, A Piano, English Patient, all those films, great movies, helped out Matt Damon and everybody. Miramax was wonderful. The Weinstein Company was even just as great. They had to lock him up because he was becoming very powerful in Hollywood. And they locked his...
The customer requested you leave the order at their door. They added the following instructions. Leave at my door. Ring the ring doorbell.
Remember that movie, We're Gonna Get Harry? You know, they need to do one, We're Gonna Get Harvey, you know? We're gonna free Harvey Weinstein and give back Miramax so that we can have good movies back in Hollywood. You know, Quentin Tarantino and all the rest, they wouldn't be anything without Harvey Weinstein. And he didn't do anything wrong. He didn't do anything. He didn't touch any of those women. I know he didn't. They got recordings and made him look bad. He might have made out with one or two of them, but he didn't do anything bad to them. I know the guy. He's a good guy. When I was in Hollywood at the time, 2001, 2002, everybody talked about how Harvey Weinstein was the nicest guy in the business. Everyone talked about that guy's the nicest guy. He'll take you out, get you some coffee, all kinds of stuff. Get you a good meal. Now we lost a really good producer. Thanks, women. Why don't y'all calm down? Hey, I got a movement. It's called Men Too. Men Too. That's my movement. You can hear those creepy wind chimes. Listen, I've got some inside sources in Hollywood. I know a lot of people in Hollywood, a lot of people. I know a lot of people off Broadway too, and Broadway in New York. But I know a few women that have talked to me and know those ladies that turned Harvey Weinstein in. One of them was at a gym working out and bragged about how the whole thing was a lie and that they were doing it just for the money. This is a true story. Now, I remember telling this other person that knew Matt Damon, and then Ben Affleck knew the other person that I was talking about. I'm not going to mention any names, but the lady had worked in a horror film industry. She was in the horror film industry. And she was working out on one of those leg machines, and she goes, "That man never touched me." And she was like, "Yeah, but you went to trial over the whole thing." And she said, "He never even touched me." And then the other lady said, "You mean you lied about it?" She said, "We lied about everything." She goes, "He's in prison. The man's in prison." She goes, "Do you know how much it costs to live in the house that I live in?" Those are the exact words. And she's supposedly working on a book deal. It's called Free Harvey. And they're going to free Harvey Weinstein and rebuild Miramax and, well, Harvey Weinstein Corporation and Miramax. This lady confessed. I mean, she completely confessed that it was all a sham. It was all a lie. And they did it for the money. I mean, I do have inside sources. I'm not an idiot. And it bothers me to know that there's an innocent person in prison. I'm very against that. And I think Weinstein should be freed. which is wrong to lock him up. I'm not the biggest fan of Hollywood, and I don't think he is either. And these women that locked him up are big fans of Hollywood. They thought it would make him a big star. Let me ask you one question. How many of those women are big stars? They're going to confess and turn the other way. And the Men Too movement is going to begin. And men are going to watch out for other men. As president, I'm going to help many Hollywood producers, but mostly men. Because believe it or not, the men's voice, the real voice of a man, has not been really shown in Hollywood. It's mostly a women's voice. The men may write. Men may write, but it comes from a feminine point of view. It should come from a masculine point of view. So, when we have our big protest in Washington for men's rights and for father rights, we're going to mention Harvey Weinstein in our protest. That he's an innocent man locked up behind bars because women lie and are dishonest. And it's because women don't serve God anymore. And that's what I mean. Look at Chaplin, Charlie Chaplin. Yeah, give me one moment. Sorry, listen, these women that did Harvey Weinstein wrong are very powerful women, very powerful. But look at Chaplin. Let's go all the way back to Charlie Chaplin. Was that a masculine point of view or a feminine point of view of how a man is? It's feminine. Now let's skip way ahead and look at the film Deer Hunter, right, with Robert De Niro. How many climaxes are in that movie? Meryl Streep's in it. Is Deer Hunter from a masculine point of view or from a feminine point of view? It's from a feminine point of view. Okay. The piano is a feminine point of view. It does have a masculine aspect to it because Harvey Keitel was in it. But it's from a feminine point of view, also a Miramax. All of Weinstein's stuff touched upon feminine point of view. Sex, Lies, and Videotape, all of it was from a feminine point of view. Those women were assisting him and helping and along. A woman is a helpmeet. She is to help. And when they turned on him, they felt the power they could gain and lied because he was a helper in Hollywood. He was helping the industry grow so that artists, independent artists, especially, and just like me, an independent artist could grow and be able. I was going to send my script Oscillate Wildly to Miramax. That was the first place I was going to put it, right on Harvey Weinstein's desk. And I was still working. I'm still working on it today. But Miramax was one of the main reasons why I went to Hollywood. Harvey Weinstein's whole production. Okay, I got to go. I'll tell you about it later. I have one thing to ask anybody investigating Harvey Weinstein's imprisonment. Go to any of the women. Any of them. Just any of the women that testified. I want, that claim to know Harvey Weinstein. I want to have them do one thing, just one thing to prove his innocence. Have the women go into a room with a pen and paper. These are the women that testified against Harvey Weinstein to put him in prison. Have these women go into a room with a pen and paper. Have them write Weinstein's last name down on the piece of paper. If they get the spelling right, then keep Weinstein back into prison. They didn't even know Harvey Weinstein, right? They never even met him. It was a scam. Have them go into a room and say, listen, you testified against Harvey Weinstein, right? You had him locked up in prison because of rape and all this other stuff, right? Write his last name down on a piece of paper and see if you can spell it correctly. And that should be proof enough that they're liars. You see what I'm saying? Of course he's innocent. Everybody knows that. These things will take a long time to come true. But as long as you believe in Mickey Mouse, everything comes true. Because you try again, right? You just keep trying. You keep on going and you try again. That's what gets you through all of this, is Mickey Mouse and a train. I got a great Disney story about a train and a bunch of squirrels and a cat named Edmund the cat. And Timmy leads them to a new area so they can harvest the new peanuts. The squirrels and the cat work together on the train. It's a great for Disney. It'd be great if Robin Williams was still alive. Job right there, Bell Helicopter. They got these drill presses in there that are made out of diamond heads. Those guys make like $50 an hour. They work on a union. Guys make buku money, man. The other Bell Helicopter, the other way, they make helicopters. They even make like $60 an hour. Thought I'd try out walking and stuff and see if I can get it back on track. Still kind of bruised. Just kind of walking like this. Just kind of standing on it, kind of stretching like this. Kind of jumping on it like that. Yeah, it's still sore. Let's say like about right here. Got them both from the pizza shop.
Green light, I love green lights. Green light project. Green light, love me a green light. Yay! Hi kids, we love green lights, like the Green Light Project with Matt Damon and Ben Affleck. They promised me a deal. They're giving money out to movies. Green Light Project, I love the Green Light Project. Yay! Green light, love me a green light. Yay! 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 Matt Damon one time told me to shut up. Yay! Yay! And I love trains. Green light, love me a green light. Let's listen to the train. In the company of Green Light Project with Matt Damon and Ben Affleck. Still hear it. Okay, what's the number on it? 3804. Okay. 3804. We gotta find the building number.
So Dee Dee probably is working with them, and they had me really Butch, Cassidy, and Sundance Kid kind of. That's why the hole in the wall gang kind of thing. So they had me. I was at a railroad station, and there was I got a message. I didn't get cruiser numbers, but both those cops are going to jail. It's a form of entrapment. They trapped the guy in front of me, but I was on the other side of the tracks when I was talking about Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, the Green Light Project. So there was the railroad track that the car was passing by. Railroad. It was a truck. It was a train. It was a train. The train was passing, and I was talking about Matt Damon and Ben Affleck on the Green Light Project, and I saw him on the other side. They had another guy trapped on the other side. So I U-turned it, went all the way around. Plus, I had to do the delivery anyway. I couldn't wait. We were stopped by a train. So I went all the way around the other side, and there he was. I didn't notice him at first. I had already done the 2 deliveries. So I turned everything off. I can still do the deliveries because I can still get their numbers and call. Well, I can call them and then go into incognito, and then call them and go back into incognito. So they were parked on the opposite side of the train. So one was parked there, and what I did was I went from the apartment to the other side. Hang on. I'm trying to figure this out for quick. All right, this is right. Yep. And so he was sitting there. I don't know what nationality the cop was, but he was sitting there waiting on the other side of the train track. When I went back around, I didn't realize that was the same side of the train track, but I didn't see him. He wasn't there. So by the time I got to the apartment, he was there again. I don't know if he's getting them on a speed limit thing or what. When I came out of the apartment complex, I went to the left. There he was sitting there, and the train was already blocking people. So I just went towards the train to hope for the best, and there was a little side road. I don't know the name of the side road, but I went down the side road, and that's when I was able to turn left down the main road and get into Fort Worth again and back on the highway. He was just sitting there. It was real weird. His lights were all turned off. They shouldn't do that. Could cause car accidents because they're sitting there with their lights turned off like in stealth mode. That's illegal. That's illegal for a cop to do. He can't be in complete stealth mode like that with his lights completely off. That's actually illegal. It's called predatorial preying on the citizens. It's predatorial. They have to have at least a light on, or their back lights on, or a light that you can see from the actual road because you could hit them. It was very dangerous. So I went the opposite way. He was probably a criminal cop. He had everything turned off. A lot of times they do that when they're getting ready to break the law. And so all his stuff was off. You could still see that it was as a police officer, but all his lights were off. Now, Fort Worth police officer just went to prison. And those guys are probably going to prison too. I was able to go down the main road before the train, even though the train was passing. So I thought if I went around on the side, I could make the drop. So I made the drop. They got their pizza. Lady probably knew what was going on, and I was talking to her like, "What do you have that's distinguishing inside the apartment? I mean, outside the apartment. What do you have that's distinguishing on the outside of the apartment? You know, so I could drop the pizza." And she was like, "Well, we have no Christmas lights. There's no Halloween." I was like, "Do you have like a trash can or anything?" The kid was standing outside, and he had his phone on. I saw his light on his phone, and I was like, "Great." Gave him the pizza. I said, "Here, take the pizza." And I right back in the car. Everything was turned off at that point. I turned everything back on, and then that's when I turned left, man. That would have been a deadly left right there. So I saw him sitting over there in the corner, and all his lights were off, everything, just preying on the public. So I said, screw it, I'll just go towards the train. So I went to the right, went all the way towards the train, and then there was a side road. And I was like, thank God, again. And it's like, you know, the road just opened up, it was like a labyrinth. It's like, oh, there's a road. And I turned down that road. I turned everything off, you know. And I'm gonna tell you, this really happened. Have you ever seen the movie Drive with Ryan Gosling? Well, when I was going down the main road to drop off the pizza, I saw another one come by. So I turned the car off and got out of the car, turned everything off, tracker and everything. I turned everything off, and the lights were turned off. And I stood in the middle of the yard. I just stood there like I was looking at an address. He rolled right by. My lights were turned off. I was parked alongside the other cars like a party was going on. You could hear this like Tiana music, so they were probably responding from a loud noise complaint or something like that. I don't know. It was like loud music. And I just stood there like acting kind of like, is this the house or is it that house? Looking at my phone and looking at the house, looking at my phone and looking at my house. But I wasn't looking back at my car, and the lights were all turned off. And he just rolled right by. I immediately turned everything back on. But I had to turn everything back on because it cannot be more than 18 minutes late or I can get in trouble. So I already got one violation a day. So it was a lot of turning everything off, turning everything back on. A lot of times I can just, you know, I have a secret way I can do it where I can find them without the tracker and everything. It's really hard to do. And then when I get in the apartment complex, I just turn everything off and then I call the customer and then turn everything off. So as long as I have the customer on the phone, they can describe what it looks like outside. And then I hand off the pizza. But man, it was close. It was close. And boy, they're just strolling around praying. Not praying to God, but praying like an animal prays on another animal. They were just strolling around the neighborhood. Some of them had their lights off. But the one that went by me, I was in the front yard acting like I was looking at the address. And I was waiting for the spotlight to hit me, and I was like, shit, you know. I didn't, you know. Or just, you know, whatever. Just go like that. Right there. There you go. January 6th, baby. We're going to pull you out of your car and cut your throat. 5th, baby. 5th Amendment, baby. We're going to cut your throat. It's fiction when I say it's fiction, mother freaker. It's fiction when I say it's fiction, mother freaker.
Fight Harry, fight Harry, fight Harry, fight Harry.
I did some big time drive stuff today, man. Big time. Big time.